as most of you know, the North American World Championship qualifier was this past weekend. I obviously went. You've already seen me post a couple videos from it, and I have a few more planned. But it was a lot of fun. I don't really love this format, but I actually really like dinosaurs, and this is probably the most time I ever put into preparing my deck for this event. I'll kind of talk about my card choices because a lot changed since the last time you guys saw my profile, Zing Dinosaurs. And I did want to give a huge thank you to all the people that came up to me and either shook my hand or had me sign their garnet or had me sign their watermelon. And you guys really made my trip a unique experience compared to previous years. This was my fifth World Championship qualifier, and in the last ones, I got approached by people and I did sign cards, but just the overwhelming amount of people that talked to me at this past weekend was just crazy. I don't know. I really want to set the goal of hitting 20K subscribers by next WCQ. I think that's pretty achievable, but already I'm starting to see that I just have a lot more feedback and followers than I did last year. Also, a huge shout out to all the YouTubers and friends that I don't usually see. Just because Nationals is just such a great tournament for meeting people that you haven't met before. There's too many of you to list, but if we talked, if we had a conversation, thank you for making the trip a lot more enjoyable. Anyway, let's talk about the list here because, like I said, so it's different than the previous ones, and I did spend a lot of time on it. I didn't do super great in the main event. I'll kind of talk about why as we go through here, but I think this was really solid, and I played it in a couple side events as well, and it was really good in those. So anyway, we played 3 over Raptor. I don't know if 3 of this card was necessary here. I should probably zoom in. I don't know if 3 of this card was necessary, which might sound crazy. This clogged a lot, and when you side deck, I usually took out 1 of these, just because you really don't want to see multiples of this in your hand. It's just really bad. And obviously, it's like one of the best cards, and maybe some people don't understand what I'm saying here, but this you don't just it's just a normal summon basically when you draw it, so you really don't want to ever see multiples. And it's almost the entire deck is combo cards, so it's really hard to side deck. But this was like the first thing to go. I also cut a lot of the bricks, as we'll talk about in a sec, so I didn't have a lot of room for side decking. I played 3 Miscellaneousaurus. That's pretty standard. This is like the best card in the deck, probably. I don't know. It's probably like the best dinosaur in the deck. Miscellaneousaurus is great. I played 3 Babycerosaurus. I cut the other level 2 guy entirely. It was just really bad, and I wanted to. I think the week before I did that live stream, where I was testing my friend Ricky, and I think when I went to his house, I had 44 or 45 cards on my deck with 8 potential bricks, and then after that day, I cut it to 4, and I possibly even could have cut it even lower, but we'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, I just played the 3 Babycerosaurus because I really didn't want to draw the other level 2. I played 2 Dracaleo. I don't know. I think this was a mistake. It's kind of hard because like all the people that have been talking with Dancing Dinosaurs played 2 of this, and for good reason. It's because if you play 1 and you draw it, it just makes your deck not function because you actually just need like the 1 in deck to use the Miscellaneousaurus to get to your Denglong play. So I played the 2 for that reason, and I've been playing 2 for a while, and it's like been working fine. But at this event in particular, it seemed really bad. And post siding, I always sided 1 out, and the deck seemed to function just fine. So I don't know if you need 2 of these. Maybe if like your deck was only playing like the Zings and the Dinosaurs, you would need 2. But my deck has like a lot of other plays it can do, so I didn't think it was super important. And then 1 Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This is like it's not a brick. It's just like you never want to see more than 1, and you can bring it back with Overraptor if you need to. That was it for the dinosaurs. I didn't play Dogoran. That was like another card that like going first is just like really really bad, and I only like after like 4 or 5 locals, I only like searched Dogoran like 1 time, and then I just kind of realized that drawing it just isn't worth the 1 time you want to search it. For the True Kings, I just played 3 Lithless Agam. I didn't play the water or the fire one. Once again, I just wanted the most consistent that I could get this deck to. Obviously, it's not like the most consistent deck just in general because there's a lot of weird 2-card combos and brick cards, but as far as the confines of dinosaurs, I wanted to make it as consistent as possible, and the water one is helpful when you open like 3 diagram, but other than that, it was pretty shitty, so I just cut it. For the Yang Zings, I played 1 Shiwin and 1 Bian. That was it. Well, and the 9 pillars. But so I realized that even with the Bababoon, I was drawing these cards way too often. And while you can get some mileage out of playing Swanee, and Swanee is really good if you don't actually draw it. It's great when you don't draw any of these. But Swanee wasn't integral to the double negation combo when you need the BN in the deck and the Chiwin in the grave. And it was only good. It was good in a few fringe situations, like when they kaiju the Denglong. But even then, you still have the one negation, and they're down a card because they kaiju'd you. But I thought this was perfect. In general, though, I think that my downfall might have been main decking these guys. I think I would still keep the 9 pillars in the main deck, and in the side events, this did fine. But in the main event, for the first rounds that I played, I lost every single die roll, which I don't really believe in complaining about losing the die roll because it's just all random. But I think it was a bad choice for me to main deck cards that were only good going first. I won a lot of game 2s with these cards, but there were a lot of game 1s that I actually just lost because I didn't have things like Regeki or Twin Twisters in the main deck to push through their setup, and I just had like Yang Zing cards in hand or deck. So I think that maining these two guys was like my downfall. But once again, I know it's just like luck when you lose all the die rolls. And like in the side events, like I did perfectly fine with these. There wasn't too much of an issue because I won most of the die rolls. I don't know. I mean, we're going in a link format, so it really doesn't matter. But I thought playing 2 of these was like good in general. I don't know about maining them though, but they were solid cards for sure. We also played 3 Bababoon. This is like probably the best monster in the deck, just because you play like even with cutting down so many bricks, you still play like a bunch. So putting them back Bababoon is really good, and this is like so good going second. It just pushes through back row so easily. So I like Bababoon a lot. We have 2 Rat Pier, 1 Whiptail, 1 Ram for the Zoo Engine. This felt perfectly fine. Like sometimes I miss like a third targeted search with the Broad Bull. If you like, I don't know, like I never could use the rat effect. I didn't really want a normal summon anyway. Yeah, but when I did draw the rat, I just felt like I couldn't use the effect because like if you like drew like Rat Whiptail, or like Barrage Whiptail, like you just couldn't. You only had the Ram left in deck. So I don't know, but I think that was fine. For the hand traps, I played 2 Ghost Ogre, 1 Ash, and 1 Max C. I didn't really want to play 3 Ghost Ogre because everyone was playing like My Body and like Shuffle Reborn. But I did want 4 hand traps, and I think that the Ash worked fine. And a lot of people were playing Pot of Desires this event, so Ash was pretty good at stopping those. For the spells, this is probably the most standard part of the deck because we have 3 Diagram, 3 Terraforming. You obviously just want to see this in your opening hand every single time. 3 Fossil Dig. Card's really powerful. I don't think there's like a lot to say about Fossil Dig. It's just a Rhoda. 3 Barrage. This is just like the Ghost Ogre bait, basically. There are some crazy combos you can do if you open Barrage Baby Ceratosaurus, but I think like one of the things that I was doing in this deck is that like when I open like Diagram, Barrage, Baby Ceratosaurus, and like Overraptor, like a lot of people, it's really, you might consider like normal summon the Baby Ceratosaurus and acting Barrage try to pop it, but like I just like assumed that my opponent always had hand traps, so I just never made those kind of plays, because then if they pop this and then they have Ash the Diagram, you actually just lose because they have a Baby Ceratosaurus on the field. So a lot of times you just activate Barrage first because it's the one that they always hand trap because they don't know what you're playing yet. And yeah, this card was really good at baiting out hand traps. And then 1 Soul Charge. This card I think instantly won me every game that I drew it. This card's ridiculous. And then 1 9 Pillars for the only trap card. That was it for the main deck. It was 42 cards, which I thought was an improvement from like the 44 or 45 I was playing. The extra deck was 1 Invoker, 1 Hammer Kong, 1 Tiger Mortar, 1 Chakanine, 1 Broad Bull, and then 2 Trident. This is what you have to play, because with 1 Resolution of the Zoo combo, you go through all 5 of those, and then you end with Trident Hammer Kong, and then they usually don't kill the Hammer Kong, they might kill the Trident, but then when you start your turn, you still have the Hammer Kong in the field, so you want to like put a Trident over it to get value. But there's like no extra deck space, so it was really hard for me to play 2 Trident when I just want more like the most possible utility here, and this is actually the only 2 of them, the extra, but I felt like it was completely necessary. 1 Emerald. I didn't really make this a lot, but without the Emerald, the only generic rank 4 you can make is Broad Bull and Chakanine, and a lot of times you just were going through those so fast, so I felt like you had to play a generic rank 4 that you can make with a Dinosaur and a Zoo. One Logia, one Dolka. I like Dolka a lot. When we were doing the last live stream before the event, people were telling me to just like cut Logia or cut Dolka, but I think you just have to play both sometimes. I mean, Logia is like better when you went against back row, but Dolka's better turn 1 because it negates hand traps and it gets more negations out of it, just like in general. One VFD, I always tell people that this is like the biggest bait in the deck. I actually don't feel like this card's very good. I almost considered cutting it because like anytime that you're making it, you could just end with like the double negation combo, and that's better than this because it doesn't lose to board wipes. Well, this is really good when the only time I really made this was off a soul charge, basically, and in those cases, it was pretty good. Then for the synchros, one Denglong. This really hurt me to cut it to 1, but I really wanted to play the High Speed Roid Chainbara. This card is just really unfair and creates a lot of win scenarios that otherwise just wouldn't be possible. Sometimes you just have like a lot of monsters with like 0 attack points, and just having the ability to do like 4,600 off of one card is crazy. One Herald of Arclight, that's for the double negation combo, and then one Chaofeng. Chaofeng's fucking ridiculous. Like, this card's so good. It's just, I never want a Trishula ever, but Chaofeng, man, you can just like set this up with 9 pillars, even if your hand's like subpar, and like you can just 9 pillars this, so you like negate a card, and then this searches like either Ogre or Ash, and that's just like ridiculous. So yeah, Chaofeng is really good. For the side deck, I played 3 Flying Sea. This card just, every game, I know there's like lots of outs to this card in the Zodiac deck. There's Enemy Controller, there's Book of Moon, there's Chalice, there's Shuffle Reborn if it's in the graveyard already, there's Barrage, obviously. But every time I resolve this, I won the game other than one time when they had Book of Moon, and holy crap, yeah, this card is so good against Pure Zoo, it's just stupid. 2 Ash inside because this was pretty much only for the mirror match, which I wasn't expecting to play at all, and the Demise True Draco deck, which really needs their Demise and Desires to resolve, and you can just Ash it. 1 Dogoran for the Masterpiece decks, because I mean, you can like beat over it with like the Ultimate Conductor, but I just want to Kaiju it. It's a lot easier that way. 2 Twin Twister for going second, 2 MST for going first. The MSTs definitely should have been Cosmic Cyclones. I already like had to buy the Ashes for this event, and like I didn't think I was like going to Worlds or anything. I was just kind of in it for fun, you know. And I really didn't want to spend the $50 for Cosmic Cyclones for one event, because they're almost certainly going to go down in price. So I just kept an MST. I didn't play against any Draco decks. Most people were just playing Pure Zoo, so it never actually mattered that it was not Cosmic Cyclone. But yeah, definitely if you have Cosmic Cyclone, play it over MST. For the 1-ups, we have a Regeki. This card's really silly. Mind Control is really silly. Book Moon's really good. This card, maybe I should have made this. I don't know. I kept that in games 2 and 3 a lot, so that was cool. And then lastly, for the 2 traps, got Magic Deflector. I did play this card. Some people didn't think it was that good. I just love Magic Deflector. Like, anytime that I have this, the hands is like so good. And like the Pure Zoo deck like has so many cards that get stopped by this. Like, you can stop the Tenki and the Barrage, and it just blinks their turn a lot of the time, because you can usually stop like their normal summon, and then you just Magic Deflect the rest, and it burn. If it's a Tenki, it burns it. If it's a Barrage, they just have to wait a turn. But it was really solid. Anyway, though, that was my WCQ deck profile. I don't know who watched this, because like I didn't do very well, but I like making these because it kind of lets me know. I mean, the WCQ, in my opinion, is like the best way to sort of benchmark where you are at in Yu-Gi-Oh! Every year, because it's sort of like the last event. And I always like going through my old WCQ deck profiles and seeing what I thought was good. But I thought this list was really solid. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep playing decks that play like 100 Garnets, but I was pretty happy with my list. I was happy cutting the Garnets in half, at least. And anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you later.